a Pete Primeau fan.
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like...
What an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around, and I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode 249, and we're here with my friend Jimmy Hurtado, and we are going to talk about turning success into significance. But before we do, let me pay the bills really quickly, and then we will bring Jimmy on and get into it. If you haven't bought my book, Sell a Million, what are you waiting for? It is a marketing book. It's a business book. It bleeds sales, but it's not a sales book. If you want a sales book, I've got a sales book for you. 10 of my friends helped me with this. Whoops. Sorry, I got it too close there, guys and gals. 10 of my friends, not the least of which Jeff Janakovo, Justin Trumbo, Randy Thompson, Chris Tahaney, Brent Batterman, Steve Carnes, lots of great people. Mark Klingenberg helped me write this book. So it's not just my book. It is my 43 years plus all of their experience, plus 2 million miles of road traveled in those 43 years. If you want 2 years worth of sales meetings, this is your book. And it's actually, if you use the QR codes, it's 3 years worth of sales meetings. That being said, thank you to my friends at the Mattress Industry Network Group. Appreciate you guys. Greg and Steve, thank you for sponsoring the show. If you want to learn how to build, network, market, sell, and succeed in the mattress industry, join this free Facebook group. It's a great group, probably over 2,700 strong by now. And I'm in the group a few times a week. I'm not on Facebook an awful lot, especially during the week, but I do get in there and answer questions. So let us say hi to Jimmy. Jimmy, welcome. Probably over 2,700 strong by now. And can you hear me, Jimmy? A few times a week. Hello. Hey, Jimmy.
I cannot hear you guys. I have audio.
Yeah, it's lagging behind. I kind of heard it. For those of you who don't know Jimmy, let me just tell you a little bit about Jimmy while we're figuring out the audio. Jimmy is the Chief Energy Officer at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress, where for nearly 2 decades he's been helping families in the Lake Norman area sleep better and live better. He's also the founder of Returning Smiles, a nonprofit organization that brings hope, food, clothing, and love to children and families in Ecuador. Through faith, family service, and relentless positivity, Jimmy has turned success into significance, but also a movement rooted in purpose, gratitude, and love. So that is my introduction, which you're going to hear in about 10 seconds because I can hear the delay. That is my introduction, which you're going to hear in about 10 seconds because I can hear the delay.
Can you hear me, Pete?
I can hear you fine. You're just hearing me delayed because I can actually hear myself. But it's delayed 5 seconds. Hang in there, guys. I think Jimmy's bouncing out and he's going to bounce right back in. Anybody got any questions between now and then?
Jimmy, go ahead. If you can hear me, Jimmy, go ahead and refresh your browser, but go to your speaker and select your headset as your speaker. So you've got your computer speaker on as your speaker. So we had that settled before we went live, and somehow that got sorted. So Pete, here we are running with scissors, and this is how we do it. We've got Jimmy backstage. Let me see if we can get him up.
Jimmy.
All right, try now, guys.
Can you hear me?
Oh my goodness. I cannot hear you.
Check
All right,
your
Jimmy,
audio
go to your audio settings.
Audio settings.
Like we did in sound check. Go to your speaker and select your headset as the speaker.
Speaker, Power Beats Pro.
So you can hear us?
I can hear you. I mean, now I can. When Pete was live, I couldn't.
Okay, so we're good. All right.
Okay.
We're still live.
Take 2. 3, 2.
Hey, everybody. Hey, guys.
I cannot hear Pete.
He cannot hear me.
This is bizarre.
Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So let's do a 3-way.
Jimmy, can you hear us? Jimmy, are you hearing us now?
I can hear you now, but when you go live with Pete, I cannot hear Pete.
Okay. So I'll stay on screen and then we'll run the show.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Pete.
Pete, can you try?
Yep, I'm going to try right
See,
now.
I can hear Pete.
It's okay. He's gonna repeat the question.
I cannot hear Pete, but I can hear you, Chris.
Okay, it's okay.
So you're not hearing Pete.
Jimmy, tell us
Correct.
a little bit about yourself for those that don't know your story.
And
Jimmy,
I went to my audio and selected on speaker my Power Beast Pros, which is the headphones I'm using.
How about now?
Let me see that.
Pete, give us something. Let's see if Jimmy can hear us now.
How about now?
No.
Okay. Go ahead and Chris, and ask Jimmy. For those who don't know Jimmy, to tell us about his story.
I tried to do that already.
All right. Listen, I think we're going to have to do take 2 on this. This is not going to work because he can only hear me and not you. I have no idea. I'm trying to debug this. And for those that are still with us live, we appreciate you staying patient. In case you didn't know that it was live, you do now know that it's live. So we appreciate your patience. Never ran into a situation like this where Jimmy can only hear me but not somebody else. Pete, let's try one other thing. Can you refresh your browser and come back in? And hopefully that will do the trick. And then Jimmy hopefully will be able to hear all of us. Jimmy, thanks for your patience. This is certainly not any fault of your own. What Pete wanted to do was he wanted the folks to hear your story. Because, for those that have been hiding under a rock or, maybe just kind of don't really kind of know everything about what you do in the mattress industry and outside and how you serve that, let's roll into your story and hopefully we'll pop Pete back in and you'll be able to hear us both.
Perfect. Yeah, I am grateful to be on the show. And for the ones who are watching, big shout out. It's truly an honor to be here and to have a conversation with a legend of our industry like Pete. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you for asking that question, Chris. Everything that I do in family, service, and business starts with purpose. My background, my childhood, I was born and raised in Cuenca, Ecuador, a beautiful city. Although my neighborhood where I grew up wasn't the safest. I was raised by pretty much my grandparents. My grandma taught me early in life that is not, the life is not about what you have, but what you give. If we were not rich financially, we were rich with our principles and values. See, I was blessed growing up to have one pair of shoes. And when I mean one, those were my church shoes, my school shoes, my weekend shoes. So I sure made sure that I couldn't mess those up, because I know I know the sacrifice that my parents will do to provide and give me those shoes. I was able to witness that some of my friends couldn't afford a pair of shoes. So they were playing outside barefoot. Some of them didn't have a meal to eat. So early in life, I learned from my grandma to be a giver, because she was the great at giving and sharing what she didn't have. She would ask me to invite my friends to come over, and she will divide our portions to share with them. So early in life, I had a big responsibility of taking care of my two little sisters, because my parents were always working. They were leaving town. And if I wasn't at school, I was picking up my sisters. I'm the oldest one. So I always had that father figure. I will pick them up, help them with their homework, and helping my grandma with her business as well. So I always had this work ethic growing up. I didn't have the childhood as many kids playing and having fun. And then the little fun that we had in our neighborhood was when, if we wanted to play soccer, we couldn't afford for a soccer ball. So what we did is we would just divide and conquer. We will go around the neighborhood, and we started collecting old newspaper from the neighbors, and we will roll it up. We put them in a plastic or two plastic bags, and that was our soccer ball. You know, those memories were my first returning smiles moments. So that built character in me, because I was able to witness the necessity, that pain that God was putting on me. Eventually, the age of 9 years, my parents decided to come to the United States to give us a better future financially. So then life started getting better. I was able to have more than one pair of shoes, better meals, a soccer ball. Things were doing great. And for the first time, I was able to attend to a private school or middle school where, and the reason I mentioned this is because during that school year is where I met my sweetheart, who will become my future wife and the mother of my kids. And real quick, I am sharing how I met her. This is in high school or middle school. If I had the opportunity to attend to a private school for the first time, it was a different culture. I didn't have money for lunch. So I see her with a big burger holding on her hand, and she's just mad and talking to my friend, asking him, why you're cheating on my friend? You shouldn't done that. She loves it. I'm just having eye contact with this burger. I'm hungry. I'm looking at this burger, and I'm just like, I'm just going to interrupt, but are you going to eat that? And she just gave me that meanest look, and she didn't say yes or no, but she just extended her arm, and I just jumped for that burger. And I just start eating and just start listening. I kept listening to what she was saying. And on her other hand, she had a drink. And I was like, hey, does that drink comes with the burger? And she just kind of smiled. And then ever since we started talking, we started dating. So for the first time, I felt love, because she became the person that will listen to me, to my pain, where I grew up. I will enjoy going to that school because I knew that I will see her. She will listen to my pain. She was the chest that I needed to cry. So it was magical during that school year. It was magical. Things were doing great. But at the age of 15, my mom decided to bring me to the United States, and I did not want to leave. I was not going to leave my two little sisters behind. But I was a minor, and they just made the decision of bringing me to the United States. They got divorced, so things are doing great. Not only that, I left my middle school sweetheart, I left my neighborhood, my friends behind, my grandma who raised me, and my two little sisters who will never got separated before. I'm sorry, I get a little emotional when I remember this.
Can you hear me now, Jimmy?
I can, yes, Pete.
Well, it's not going to be any good because I'm sitting here bawling. So I just want to clarify a couple things. So your parents went to the United States when you were 9 years old,
Correct.
but you didn't follow until you were 15.
Yes.
So there was 6 years that they were there. Okay, and so you fell in love in middle school.
I did.
Lucky you. That never happened for me despite my best efforts. So I'm glad that you've got more game than I do, obviously.
Hey, I was hungry. I had to go for that burger, and thank God she was the one holding it.
I understand the burger. I've been there, not nearly to the degree where that you had it. So then you come to the United States, you're separated, and you're almost like a father to your two sisters, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they're almost like daughters to you, not just sisters, right?
Yes, I was pretty much their
You
guardian
protect
because they
them.
were away. I will protect them. I will help them with homework. I will drop them off at school. I will pick them up. I would do everything for them, dress them up and take care of them. Yes, I was a father figure for them.
And I hate to pry, but I'm just so curious, and maybe some of our audiences too. So you come to the United States, you don't have your sisters, and your mom and dad, do they divorce like right away?
Yeah, so we were doing good or better financially, and things were not doing good in their relationship. So they decided to get divorced, and things went down. My mom thought it was a good idea to bring me to the United States so I can, go to school. And I don't know, maybe she was trying not to get married too young. I don't know what was going on, but I questioned her over and over. And like I said, I did not want to come over, but it was God's plans. I arrived to the city of Brooklyn or state Brooklyn in New York.
Yeah.
With no language, no friends, no culture. So it was a new journey. I was missing my two little sisters. I would cry every single day because I just couldn't accept that I abandoned them and my grandma, everything behind for a future. I started adapting. As a matter of fact, I went a couple of times to the airport. I was ready to take that plane back to my sisters. But then I kept listening to God's voice. He will tell me, it's not your time yet. And I'll be obedient. We were raised in a family that Jesus and God was first. And I would have conversations with him, and he will tell me, now is not your time. Another time, I actually purchased the ticket, and I was just ready to cross the gate and go back, leaving everything behind. And God talked to me again and said, it's not your time. So I embraced the pain, started adapting, started learning the language with new friends. And I was helping my mom with the rent. I started driving a taxi at nighttime. So I would go to school in the morning, and then nighttime I would drive a taxi from 6 p.m. to 4 a.m.
How old were you,
night.
Jimmy, when you were driving the taxi?
I was no more than 17 years old.
Oh my Lord.
Yep.
Were
I
you
got
any good, or did you beat up a bunch of taxis?
In New York, they call them the concrete jungle. You have to be aware at all times, and that taught me to be alert and be thinking on my feet, always ready. I got assaulted a couple of times, gun pointed at my head. I mean, I have many stories to tell, but I will not touch during this podcast. But definitely, I would not regret any of my past because, like I said, God wasn't wasting this pain. He was he shapes into purpose. He was just building character in me.
So, when and how did you meet, and when did you meet Katie and Greg?
Oh, I love when people ask me this question. You know, almost 2 decades that I've been with Sweet Dreams, and people ask me why you been with them for so long. They became like family. I joined Sweet Dreams, July 2006. But I do consider that Sweet Dreams is not just a job; it's family. Uh, 2 years working here, I received a phone call from my cousin letting me know that my middle sweetheart, who I left, we lost contact, arrived to the United States, to the state of North Carolina. So I acquired or took my uncle's car and didn't let anybody know. And I took a road trip to reunited with her. I wanted to see her so bad. So that trip should take maybe 8 to 9 hours. It took me 17 hours because there was no GPS back then. I had like a whole old paper map. Eventually arrived to her house and I got out of the car and I hugged her so hard and I told her that I would never leave her again. Started a family, and that's how I met Greg's dad, Jim Law. He taught me how to work with my hands. I started as a handyman helper, and he's great at it. He introduced me to Greg Law, who Greg and Katie were starting with their business in Sweet Dreams. And I have done many roles at Sweet Dreams. But what I loved about Sweet Dreams, Greg and Katie and his parents, Jim and Sharon, is their culture, how they welcome me, not just me, but my family. They will provide a job, which, like I said, eventually was like family to me. Now, nearly 20 years, I get to be the chief energy officer.
And you're naturally the chief energy officer. I mean, when you were team lead, you were the chief energy officer. It's just a better, more appropriate name, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, in our industry at Sweet Dreams, one of our favorite speakers is Inky Johnson, the cornerback from the University of Tennessee. He was really close to be an NFL professional player, but in one interception, he became paralyzed. He almost lost his life,
Yeah.
and he lost the right arm, the mobility for the rest of his life. But now Inky is the most influential speaker in the world and took his adversity into much greater that God had in store for him. He's a great speaker.
I had the privilege of seeing Inky Johnson speak live.
I love him. He's great.
There's nothing not to love.
Right?
The dude's special. He
He's
took serious adversity and he's changing lives.
absolutely.
You know,
And
anybody here doesn't know what we're talking about, just YouTube Inky Johnson motivational speaker
yes.
and watch him. He is fabulous. And if you can afford his fee, which you may not be able to, bringing him to a live event is something special. And I was really, really super blessed. And I was at an event. I didn't even know he was speaking. Jimmy, I fell over myself. I mean, I could not believe how powerful this man is up there with an injury that would stop most people. And he is coaching us up and coaching us through, challenging us, and literally in his demonstration up there on the stage, showing us the way to a better life.
Correct. Yeah, I love him. He's very powerful. Be ready to cry because his story is just amazing. it just get goosebumps just to remember how he faced a lot of challenges, and now he's just, like I said, great speaker, changing the world. But one of our my favorite quotes from Inky is, how you view what you do determines how you do what you do. He says that all the time. And that's the vision that we have at Sweet Dreams. I mean, Sweet Dreams has been a nice journey during these almost 20 years, but we like to use Sweet Dreams as a vehicle to do greater work, or as we call it, the kingdom work.
Tabitha Hoffman says, Jimmy, you're so inspiring.
Oh, I love you, Tabitha. Thank you for the support.
And that must be Greg. Well, it's Greg or Katie or somebody. Let's rock. Absolutely. We are rocking now that we can hear each other. And Brian Morell says, hi, Pete. Hi, Brian. Thank you for being here. And I hope you all get a lot out of what Jimmy is laying down. And we're just getting warmed up. We just wanted you to have a little background. And some of it's been new. Krista Haney, to succeed, you've got to keep positive people in your orbit. When I finally had the chance to meet Jimmy in person, I pushed my flight back a day because he was off the days I was in his market. After months of interacting on social, I wasn't about to miss the chance to shake his hand. Excited for this one. What's up, Jimmy?
What's up, Chris? Love you, brother.
And Scott Vaughn says, love me some Jimmy. And I have to say this to you right now. This is probably as good a time. I have never gotten so many texts and emails. Look at that. Tabitha Hoffman says, we love you too, Jimmy.
Oh, so sweet.
This was universally what I heard. Love Jimmy. Love that dude. That dude's awesome.
I am blessed.
Like one after the other, all saying the same thing. As a matter of fact, you got a couple photographs there, Chris? Pull up one of those photographs. Any which one. It doesn't matter. Nope. Yeah. So this is compliments of Justin, and I see Greg. And who are the other guys in there?
You've got Keith Moneymaker.
Keith Moneymaker. I've never met him. I want to meet him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He
and
also
who's in
impacts
the
many lives. His name, I'm thinking right now, it's slipping off my head. He was actually at the summit event with the fam, with Mark Kingsley, this past event. I can't think of it right now.
But this other picture with just you and Justin, you look like a movie star there, Jimmy.
It's hard to keep up with Justin's energy. I love that guy. Every time I go to these events, he is just an inspiration. I will just zip my mouth and just ask him tips about what's the trick to be successful, and he will just tell me everything, all the tricks that he have done when he was an RSA, and I just love his energy and what he does. I love it.
Mama Katie's here. Katie Law. I call her Mama Katie out of
me too.
Like sheer admiration, because when we had the whole group on, she went from person to person, making sure that they were hooked up and ready to go. Jimmy is one of a kind, such an inspiration to us daily, and a heck of a salsa dancer. You know, I would put money that he's a salsa dancer based on that photo. Like, no dude could look like that and not be a good salsa dancer, right?
We're always ready to break a party, Pete.
Jimmy, you got a license for those guns?
See, this is why I love my work family. I mean, they're the best.
How you view what you do determines how you do what you do. Love it. Yeah, Inky Johnson is special. And store owners, any store owner out there, as soon as this is over, jump on YouTube, put Inky Johnson in there, and at least show that YouTube video to your team. And if there's any way you could ever afford that dude, He's worth the money. He's special. He is very, very, very special. So I'm glad you brought that up, Jimmy. I
Oh yeah.
completely forgot about my experience with Inky and having the privilege to see him do his thing. And, you know, you're sitting there and you're looking at that and go, you know, how many times in my life did I feel like I was broke? Like I couldn't take another step. Like I can't go any further. Like, and look at this dude. Like
Yes.
he had a course set for his life and he sacrificed. He did everything you had to do to achieve his dream. And he couldn't achieve his final dream because of an injury, but he decided to overcome it. And to me, that's incredibly powerful. And you know, you and Inky both talk a lot about gratitude, which is one of my favorite subjects. So I want to talk a little bit about gratitude. Um, you know, there's somebody watching this show today whose business is down and maybe they're not getting as many door swings as they'd like. They're not making as many sales as they'd like. And you might own that store or you might be a salesperson at that store and you're watching this show. And it's hard for you to be grateful, but I'm going to say this to you. You woke up today. My grandfather, he only lived to 44. My father only lived to 51. I'm 65. Every day I wake up, and I've done this my whole life because from 24 years old on, every day, first thing I say, thank you, Lord. Thank you for this day. Let me do the things that you want me to do and help me to know. And if you can, Lord, could you just do that whole thing like you did for Moses? Because I like that whole idea of a burning bush because I don't hear those whispers all the time. Sometimes I don't hear that little voice or I don't listen to it is probably more appropriate. Right, Jimmy?
Well, he sent people in our lives because nothing just happened by coincidence. I don't believe that. And you are a true example of this because you, Pete, uh, you in a way are changing lives. A lot of people in the industry who doesn't have the experience, by you interviewing so many people who are great at it, sharing their tips, that is how they improve their lives, how they improve their business, and they are or they can afford better future for their next generations and next generations. So in a way, you know, I thank you for what you do, Pete. You are really changing lives.
Thank you, Jimmy. I really want to turn this interview to the title, to turn success into significance. But one thing I want to do right before that is I just want to ask you a couple quick questions about when you first started at Sweet Dreams. Like, were you just like a natural, like the minute like you walked on the floor, like people were just saying, here's my money and pick out the stuff that I should have for my house? Or did you have to learn how to sell?
So that's a great question. And I think I have that naturally in me because the way that I was raised, I was always helping my parents in a way. I didn't have the time to play as many kids. So I was always hustling, helping with my grandma's business or my parents. When I walked into Sweet Dreams, they gave me the opportunity, they gave me the chance when I was only 19 with two boys already. And I couldn't fall back because of my background. So I roll out my sleeves and I just did everything that it was in me because of my values and my principles that my grandma taught me when I was young. If Greg and Katie are building this business, what can I do to add and to help them get there? And during these 20 years, it has been a great journey. When people ask me recently during this event, they ask me how long I have been working for Katie. And what Katie immediately said, Jimmy doesn't work for us, he worked with us. And that right there is what makes a difference between other businesses. They're my family, And at Sweet Dreams, Greg and Katie are always investing in their team members. Always, we have a dream team university is what we call. Greg will invest in them. We'll send them to workshops, capacitations. But yeah, that's how my role starts at Sweet Dreams. So at Sweet Dreams, nobody can say that is not my job. Everybody will help on each other. Everything that we do, everything that we stand for, it revolves our core values, which is dreams, dedicated to God and the greater good, responsibility, energy, effort, and excellence, service above self, and measure growth and partnership. So we are trained to help each other, but most of all, to our customers, to help them live and improve their lives by better sleep. It's been 20 years, and the title of this show, Pete, it's Turn Success into Significance, which you just mentioned, which is actually a concept in the book Halftime that Greg shared with us. We've been talking about this for years now. The author is Buff Bufford. So if you haven't read it, Halftime, I highly recommend it. But what we do at Sweet Dreams, we want to use these as a vehicle to turn success into significance. He gave us the tools and the opportunities to do what we like. We don't want to get to a point where so many people make the mistake of thinking, I'll be happy when I accomplish this, or I make this much, or win this award. Our favorite thing about Sweet Dreams in our business is that we can create our own opportunities, and that is the book. And
how'd you like how I pulled that up, Jimmy?
Oh, you guys are quick.
Pretty good how I did that, huh?
Yeah, I bet it was Chris.
Chris, thank you.
So, at Sweet Dreams, exactly. That is, so the book talks about how many people climb that ladder of success. They get promoted, they get better financially, but then once they retire, they look back and they said, or ask themselves, did I just work 30 years of my life for a paycheck? And now what? So at Sweet Dreams, we don't want to do that mistake. We want to work, have fun at the same time, but you want to find something that you will do for the rest of your lives, like returning smiles. I want to do that for the rest of my life, to change and impact people, positively impact people. And Sweet Dreams has helped me with that. How Returning Smiles started is during a leadership summit event that Greg and I took to Atlanta. We took a road trip with a nationwide marketing group. And during this event, we learned how to be better leaders with our team, with our families, and our community. But during that event, they led our team to a No Child Hungry packing effort. We were packing meals, sealing bags, stacking up boxes, celebrating one box after other. It was simple. It felt like an ordinary work, but the impact behind each meal hit me like a spark on a dry wood. I felt like God talked to me then when I was packing these meals, and he said, now is your turn to go back where you came from. I felt that in my heart. When I was packing those meals, they weren't just food, they were hope. And in that moment, I looked at Greg Law and I asked him, brother, would you support me with this project that God just put in my heart? If you know Greg Law, he's all about giving back and making an impact everywhere that he goes. And he didn't even let me finish my question. He was like, all in, let's do it. So within 2 months, we created a website with my helps friend, Mike Wilson. During this trip on the way back, we were having great ideas how to do it, how to implement it. I arrived home, I talked to my wife, to my kids. We pray about it. And Pete, within 2 months, we were able to go back to the community that I came from, to those villages outside when my grandma used to take me. And we were able to return smiles, to bringing food, to bringing clothes, to bringing that pair of shoes that they didn't have. So ever since that day, what it started with an act of service, has now touched thousands of families because we go back once a year.
Mm.
Yes.
I am speechless. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. I want to dive into this a little bit. If there's a point in your life where you're selling to survive, you're selling to put food on the table, you're selling to put a roof over your head. But now it's different. There's a bigger purpose. And I just want to ask you, how has that affected your sales?
We do you know Mark Kingsley?
Of course.
So we talk about what Mark Kingsley said. We do not want to say that we are family business, we are local, but we can't just say that. We have to prove it. And how we do that is giving back to the community. So we just don't go globally, internationally, but at Sweet Dreams, we are always involved with our community, with our customers, because customers want to buy from you because they want more service, they want more quality, they want more of you instead of going to big chain stores. So Mark Kingsley always said, it's not enough to say that you're local, you have to prove it. And the way that we prove it is giving back. This last week, as a matter of fact, we have huge sales going on with 3% of the sales Sweet Dreams generously donated to our organization. So with this upcoming mission, we got some funds to give back to the people in need.
That's awesome. And so how many trips have you made with Return and Smiles back to Ecuador?
It started in 2019 during COVID, actually, or around COVID. So when we went with our first mission, this was in 2019. And this is another story of my life, real quick. So we went back, we blessed people in 2019. I have thousands of reasons not to go because of COVID, people were dying. But God gave me thousands of reasons to go and blessed others. When we got back, Pete, my son had an accident at school. Somebody elbowed him right here in the head, and we have to rush him to the hospital because he was bleeding internally in the brain. He was, as a matter of fact, diagnosed that he died, not once, but twice. And I asked God, I just came back from blessing people. I just came back from a mission trip. I just came back returning his miles, and you throwing this punch at me. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to do? I was asking the wrong question. I thank God because my son is better than ever now. He's thriving. He's also part of the Sweet Dreams staff. And I thank God every morning. As you said earlier, we need to practice more gratitude. Every time I come back from these trips, I witness firsthand how little kids don't have toys. They actually play with rocks. Some of them don't have a pair of shoes. And here in America, you go to the closet and you have like a pile of shoes that you haven't worn in so long. So what I encourage everybody is just take an inventory and get involved with your local church and just give back, because I am sure that somebody can use those pair of shoes that you haven't worn in a while, or coats. The winter is coming. So be mindful and practice that gratitude. There's that little girl playing with the rocks. I mean, when you see that touched my heart, and that gives me motivation to go back and continue serving the Lord. Our mantra at Sweet Dreams is work hard, play hard, play hard, grow. I'm mixing up right now. Work hard, play hard, have fun, and grow. So we always want to have fun while we work, but we would definitely want to make an impact. Greg Law, if you're listening, would you send that message? So at Sweet Dreams, we just don't, the vision has never been just to sell a piece of furniture or a mattress. Of course, we want to be great at what we do, but we really want to turn success into significance. And I feel like by giving back, being involved with the community, that's what it's all about. This is part of my personal legend, not a story waiting to be happy when I find treasure someday. But I am enjoying the adventure. I am enjoying the ride and serving others and glorify God along the way. Here's another book, Pete. Have you ever read The Alchemist?
Yes.
It's a great book.
It's a great book.
It's he mentioned it is the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting.
Yeah.
And dreams are the language of God. Dreams aren't just about sleep, they're about purpose. They're about making someone else's life brighter because we dare to step out in faith.
Yeah, you've been stepping out in faith your entire life, brother.
He's the reason. He's the reason that we are here. The glory to him. Praise to him.
I'm sorry that I'm not talking because I am making note after note after note. So I want to dig into.
Thank you, Greg. He said, "Work hard, play hard, serve others, and grow."
Thanks, Greg.
So that is our mantra. Thank you, brother. I know by heart, but for some reason I forget.
RJ from Jacksonville, Ben, one of my favorite people in the world. What an amazing story. I'm so glad I was able to catch this episode. Jimmy is special, plain and simple. Thank you for sharing, RJ. You know,
much love.
I got to tell you this, Jimmy. Me and RJ, are talking one day, and I kind of went first. And, told him about how tough my childhood was. And then he told me some stuff. And I was so ashamed of myself because RJ had it way harder than I did. Way harder than I did. And you've had it tougher than both of us. So
everybody has a story, Pete.
They do.
I don't know if mine is better or yes.
And one of the things that I'm really focused on is us sharing our stories together, because us as the mattress industry would be stronger if we shared our stories. There's a lot of stories like this. My grandmother on my dad's side, my father's mother, she had 8 children and they had no money. And my grandfather died when he was 44. And my father became the head of the family. And he got pulled back out of the Navy, which he loved the Navy, wanted to be in the Navy the rest of his life. But back then, he was the oldest surviving child. His brother Charles had died already, had died young. And so he was the oldest son. And because he was the oldest son, in the 1950s, he got sent home, and basically so my grandmother told me, you kids are spoiled. Like, now I didn't think I was spoiled. I thought I had nothing, and I did have nothing compared to my friends. So there's always this comparison thing. And I have lots of comments about comparison. It's the quickest way to destroy your life. If you want to just compare.
It's a great story. Yes.
But here's what my grandmother told me. She said, Pete, you have no idea how good you have it. My kids didn't have toys. You get a toy for Christmas. My children got one toy once a year. It was like Christmas time. We played with paper grocery bags, And she said, you can't believe how much fun you can have with a paper grocery bag. I could keep a child busy laughing for hours on end. But you people are not creative at all. And I'm like, man, if my grandmother Primo could see what today is like, she
Yeah.
would be like rolling over in her grave, like, because it is like, I mean, but anyway, it that is so true. And
You are
I
so
got
true. Yes, all
I gotta
right.
tell you, RJ, you and RJ remind me a lot of, you guys have a lot of the same stuff going on as I did, to a much lesser degree. I mean, I always say I'm the luckiest guy in the world. So Jimmy, we got a salesperson. He's a little down on his luck. He wishes the door swings would be better. We have a store owner, same thing, wishes it was a little bit better out there. What tips? I mean, you've been in this business 20 years now. Like, what can you say to them to help them maybe start their day in a better way, or maybe an action step that they can take to have a little bit more success? And I know I just asked you that question. I know you have an answer, but I just want to circle back to something you said. You said that you and Greg were traveling and going to like a seminar. And so it sounds to me, and I know that Scott Vaughn has done training, like all day training at your place. It sounds to me like there's a culture of training at your place. So I'm going to let you answer that question.
Yes. At Sweet Dreams, you're always growing. Greg invests in the team. Like I said, we have had the pleasure to have Scott Vaughn about a month ago. He's about to come again. So a tip that I would recommend to the people out there in the industry is always have provide training for your employees, for your members. Have the energy, get involved with the community. Our members have the opportunity to go outside our store doors and connect with people around the area, with the community. We don't like to call networking, but we call it a net living. So when you connect with other business owners, they will recommend you, because then they know how legit you are, how you are willing to help your customers. We just don't want to write tickets. We just don't want to be transactions. We want to transform lives. We want to be part of that transition. So that's one tip that I will say. I always keep the energy. Nobody wants to walk into your store and feel like a dead party. So have the music. The energy starts in the parking lot. Connect with those peoples. Follow up. Surprise your customers with wow service. Again, it's not transactional. You connect with the customers. Just keep in mind that they took their time to drive to your store. So the minute that they pull up in that parking lot, give the best you have, because this is an opportunity for you. This is a connection, because that person know 250 more people around that they will recommend them to you because you made it easier for her or for him. So listen, we are trained to listen to our customers. Hey, Jerry.
Jerry Sanders says, I'm the beneficiary of Jimmy's smile on a regular basis, both at the YMCA and in the men's group. We attend church together. We attend together at the Cove Church. Thank you, Jerry. He's an inspiration to not only me, but our entire group of men that meet on Tuesday at 6 a.m. that meet on Tuesdays at 6 a.m. That's what I love right there. The early bird gets the worm, man. I had my workout done by 6. Sweet Dreams. The Hurtados are a beautiful and inspiring example of the American dream. Overcoming adversity, continually positive, achieving success, and a heart to serve and give back. A lesson to us all. Yeah, Greg or Katie, whoever this one is, that's the gospel right there. It's funny that you keep saying have fun. One of my trademark things that I've said for years is have fun and sell a million. And I don't say sell a million and have fun. Got to have fun first. And
That's
then you're
right.
going to sell your million. Your million comes as a product of you having fun. And a lot of people get that backwards. So, Jimmy, I've been doing a lot of talking, and you have really shared a lot too. And so thank you so much. Is there a question that I should have asked you that I didn't?
No, before we wrap it up, I do wanted to thank you again for giving me the opportunity to share my story and hopefully to touch people's heart and make a difference in this world. Shout out to Jerry Sanders. I do meet with him on Tuesdays. He lead our live group. And one question that you didn't ask me would be how people can get involved and make a difference in this world. How can they connect with our organization? So on our web site, there is a QR code
Hey,
that,
stop. Let's do this the right way. Come on, man.
man, it is. Chris is fast. That's
Jimmy,
it.
how can people support Returning Smiles?
Great. So if you visit our website, you will see videos from our past events or missions. And our next mission will be coming up in December. See, my oldest son is stationed in the Navy in Hawaii. So I have a personal challenge. I'm going to run my first ever marathon in December 14. So everybody, please be praying for us. We're going to run with a purpose because I do want to honor God for giving me the strength to run side by side with him. So before the marathon, we are partnering with his local church, which is called the House Established. They are going to have meals and clothes, kits ready for us when we arrive. We're going to bless kids in that area. So if you want to be part of this, go ahead and visit our website, scan the QR code, and make a donation. We have a 501c3, so you can donate and share. If you can't donate, don't feel like donate, please share, and somebody else will help us bless other people.
The 5013C allows the donor to write it off their taxes, correct, Jimmy?
Correct. Yep.
So, guys, let's support Jimmy. Let's
Thank you, Pete.
everybody just chip in a little bit and encourage all that everyone to make this happen. I'm going to give you some advice.
Please.
I have run a marathon. I completed the Columbus Marathon because it was something that two of my dealers had done lots of marathons, and they said, Pete, I know you're not a runner, but you need to run a marathon at least once in your life. And I said, well, why? They said, because it does something inside of you that makes you know that you can do it. And it's 26.2 miles.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, Jimmy. I had a training regimen, and I'm very despite looking like I'm not disciplined, I'm disciplined. And I did everything exactly the way I was supposed to. I got some advice, and I'm going to share this advice with you.
Please.
At the beginning of a marathon, you feel like $1 million, and what your natural inclination to do is to go by the refresh stations and say, I don't need a cup of water or a cup of, whatever they're giving you, whether it's Gatorade, water, or gel. Your inclination is to say, I don't need it, but you're going to need it. And so here's the advice. Never pass a station, even though they have like stations every mile or every 2 miles. Always take something from the station, and always do that. And so I had run up to 22 miles in training, and I had no problems. And I even did something they said don't do. I did the 26.2 miles in training because I had to know I'm not going to go out in public and embarrass myself. I had to know, right? I had to know that I could do it, right?
Right.
And so I ran it, and at mile 15, I got the most horrible cramps you could ever imagine.
Oh my God.
And I just, by the grace of God, gutted through it. But by the end of that thing, I was coming across there stiff-legged, looking like Frankenstein, because not only had my hamstrings locked up, but my quads locked up.
Oh
So
my goodness.
I was a mess. So
Well, thank you for these tips. And
those are tips from my guys that were marathoners, that were dealers of mine. Yeah, just make sure, drink a little bit more than you're comfortable drinking on those stations. If they have slices of oranges, grab some of those. If they have the gel pouches, squirt that in your mouth. It's gross, but it gives you some carbs to keep burning. So good luck. And everybody, let's support Jimmy on this. Jimmy, thank you so much. This was a blast. Got off to a little bit of a slow start, but hey, it all turned out great.
that's right. We got it. We had a great time. Thank you so much, Pete, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jimmy. And thank you, Chris Stone. Chris, you are amazing. And everybody, let's support Jimmy. Jimmy, thank you again. And let's go out there and sell 1 million this week.
I do want to share something before I go.
Sure.
God bless you all. And remember that sometimes the greatest treasure in life don't come from closing a sale, but from opening your heart. God bless everybody. Thank you,
Amen.
Pete.
Thank you. Take care.